Hi guys, Landon, also Thunder Fan Zone on Instagram, and I'm joined here with Jack, the Thunder coverage, and we're going over the 2025 draft. We're doing our top 15 draft predictions. We would only do the lottery, but since the Thunder happened to get the 15th pick, we'll cover that pick too. We'll start with the number one pick. I think it's pretty obvious which way the Mavericks are going to go with this pick. Never know with Nico Harrison after that Luka trade.
Yo.
But I hope to God that they go with Cooper Flag. I mean, guy's a beast, 18 years old, leading Duke prestigious basketball school. Like he just has guard skills, and he's just like the prototypical like first overall pick. He's kind of a generational talent. 6'8", can do it all, can score, can block shots at the rim, just like great on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I have a number one as definitely the consensus overall. The only note I have down is too obvious because there's no one else that the Mavs are taking with number one.
Very mature for an 18-year-old too. Like he was definitely the leader on that Duke team. Went on a deep March Madness run. Good player. For the Spurs, I guess it's a little more up in the air, but I really don't think it is personally, in my opinion. I have Rutgers guard Dylan Harper. I think he would be a nice pairing next to Stephon Castle in that backcourt. Still 19, a lot of room to grow. Good scorer, average 19 points per game. And he's 6'4", but has a plus 6-inch wingspan. He has a 6'10" wingspan. So a lot of defensive potential with that wingspan. I feel like scouts buy a lot into wingspan now. That's a big thing.
Yeah, I have him second overall to the Spurs as well. It really increases the guard depth. They already have Castle and Fox, but I think they'll make it work. One of those guys come off the bench, and then you're never on the back foot with your guards. They'll figure it out.
I always completely forget about Fox because they made that trade or not late, but trade deadline.
But I don't think they should worry about having three good guards. I'm sure they'll figure it out, and at the end of the day,
Castle's like what? Castle's like what?
6'5", 6'5", yeah.
I mean, Thunder have smaller guards that play at the 3 spot sometimes, so they can make it work. And like definitely. Best options are guards at that pick. You got to go with the guard. You'd be wrong not to.
Yeah.
As for the 76ers, so they've already got, before Jared McCain got hurt, there was a lot of flashes there, so they kind of have their point guard for the future. But I really think they could use a 2-guard next to him. First two guys that come to mind are Colin Kneppel and Trey Johnson from Texas. I'm going to lean towards Trey Johnson here. A lot of scoring production. I think that could be a nice 1-2 punch with him and McCain. They also have Maxey. I forgot to mention that. So that'd be 3 guards. There's a lot of rumors that they might move Maxey though, which I don't really see happening, but there's some. I've seen some rumors. But Trey Johnson nearly shot 40% from 3, just like a high volume scorer, high ceiling guy, very high ceiling. Like I think he has all-star potential if he reaches his full ceiling. I just think it would be bringing them some scoring. I could totally see them going a different route though.
Yeah, which I definitely am. I'm going the most common route, I feel, but I'm taking Ace Bailey for the 76ers. He's a 3-man. You got your Maxey and then your McCain. That's the 1-2. And then you got him at 3. I think, good fit up, maybe off the bench, but him, Maxey, and McCain is such a good core for the future.
I can see that.
Especially if Quentin Grimes, depending on what happens with him. Because I know, they've got to figure it out contractually because they're obviously tied up with Paul George and Joel Embiid. But Ace Bailey at 3 for me.
Yeah, he actually has some similarities to Paul George. So that'd be interesting with like George as a spin tour type of thing.
Yeah.
Hornets. At number 4, I know this might shock you that I'm not going Bailey, but I actually have Colin Kneppel. The guy can just like shoot the ball, floor spacer. I think with LaMelo's playmaking, he would really thrive on that system, like having him and Brandon Miller spread out corners and just having guys that LaMelo can feed the ball to. I don't think he has the trajectory of Klay Thompson, but I think they could be very similar players, just like in the back 3 and D guys that you can't leave open, catch and shoot, deadly 3-point shooters.
I'm not sure if he goes that high, but who knows? I guess they do need a guard, right? The Hornets, because they got some good center depth, and Brandon Miller and LaMelo are the future pieces in. So yeah,
Mark
with that
Williams
in mind, I went VJ Edgecombe just with the
I like that
basically
too.
just for his upside, because who knows how good he'll turn out. He's got the athleticism. I like the lineup of Melo, VJ, Miller, Saloon. Or yeah,
I had such a tough time with this pick between Bailey and VJ and Colin. Those are all 3 good choices.
Yeah,
they could really go. They could really go with any of the 3.
Definitely, just any 2 guard really.
Yeah,
but I think VJ is the best fit in my opinion. So that's with the Hornets' 4th pick.
Yeah. Jazz. So we're on to the Jazz at pick number 5. They have a lot of decisions to make this offseason with Walker Kessler, Colin Sexton, and also Jordan Clarkson, because they're like young and medium old at the same time. They have like what I like to say medium old guys, and then they also have a bunch of younger guys like Keontae George. And so I don't really know what route they're going to go in. But I think if like Ace Bailey falls here, you can't really let a guy like Ace Bailey go off 5, and you kind of just draft him based off that raw talent. 6'7", 7-foot wingspan, guy can flat out score. Probably maybe the 2nd or 3rd highest ceiling in this draft behind Flag. So I think that's kind of a must pick if he falls there.
Well, I'm glad he took Ace Bailey finally. But for Utah, I have them taking Trey Johnson. I think they seem so directionless right now with Clarkson, like you said, Laurie. These guys who are in another group, and then they have their young guys like Collier, Filipowski coming in.
It's really weird, but I think with picking up Ainge, she should be able to kind of sort it out and give them direction.
Yeah, they need to make a decision on where they're going, but I think Trey Johnson gives great scoring for that, because you got Collier, who's a great assister. What was it, most assists in his rookie season?
I think Collier's an underrated, under the radar player. I think that dude could end up being really good.
For sure. And then you have that big 3, well, the young core of Collier, Trey Johnson, and Filipowski built around that. But yeah, they just got to figure out what they're doing. But he brings great offense, great shot creation. I think he slides in pretty nicely, and I think that's great value for them at number 5.
I like it. Number 6. Shockingly enough, I actually don't have VJ Edgecombe here. I have Kamon Maluak from Duke, which would be the 3rd Duke Blue Devil drafted in the lottery behind Flag and Con.
And this is for the Wizards.
Yeah. I think they could go a Cleveland Cavaliers type of route with like a 1-1-2 type, or like a 2 big type of thing in their front court. Put him next to Sar, 7'2". Dude really has no outside game. Like, he's kind of just a paint beast, good rim protector. He's athletic, lob threat. Bro, Sar's expanding the game out to the 3-point line. I think it's gonna be there. Give it time.
It's optimistic.
But like they also already have a lot of guards though.
It's true.
They have Poole. And then they have
AJ Johnson, Bob Carrington, all those guys. Even with the guard play,
if they keep Poole, I just don't really see how VJ slips in there.
Yeah, you definitely need more of a pass first guard, which my choice, Kasparis. I'm going to butcher this, but Jaku Sionis. Yeah, the Illinois guy.
Guard wing. He's a pretty versatile player.
Yeah, but I think his passing ability and his playmaking, the way he sees the floor, his IQ.
Him. He's good court vision. One of the better passers in the draft for sure.
I think he could be the point guard of the future for the Wizards. They have their two guys. They have their scorers, their shot creators, the defense.
They need some constructed offense. When I watched them play the Thunder this year, just total mess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's coaching or the lack of playmaking ability or lack of passing ability. But
yeah. So I think that's quite a nice pick for the Washington Wizards to help them get into competition. Next, Pelicans.
Yep, Pelicans. VJ Edgecombe. I mean, I think he could definitely go to the Wizards just because of his value in this scenario, my personal scenario. But you take him there. They're kind of a dead franchise this year. I'm sure they wish they had a top 5 pick. Falling to 7 is very tragic for them. But they just need to put butts in seats. VJ's Edgecombe is the most explosive player in the draft. Watching his film, I think he has like Amon Thompson, Ozzer Thompson level athleticism. Like that's what you're getting from him. And I think the Pelicans.
The ceiling is just so high.
Yeah, the Pelicans could really use a guy like that.
Well, I choose Con Knipple at 7. I don't think he'd go top 5 in my opinion, but I think just the shooting around Zion, because if they're all in on Zion and they have some pretty talented point guards in DeJounte and DJ, but they need that space.
I think Missy has a lot of potential too. I think he could be a good player.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of forgot about him.
Yeah, that's why I
definitely that's what they got in the front court right now. Zion and Missy, that's locked down. So I think the guard's the right pick.
Yeah, and then they have pretty good point guard depth and shooting guard. So I think slipping Con Knipple in at small forward shooting guard, just spacing the floor around Zion. If they're all in on Zion, then this is what they need to do. Just build shooters around him, space the floor. So that's my pick for number 7.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Number 8's the Nets. Also, they probably hope they could get a higher pick and draft a franchise cornerstone type of guy, maybe get lucky in the top 5. Fortunately, they fall to 8 here. It's kind of rough for them. But I think they get Oklahoma guard Jeremiah Fears. I was lucky enough to watch him in person this year. He's the guy as an 18-year-old, he led OU and kind of kept them afloat, got them to March Madness. Thankfully, it was about time that OU made March Madness. Got bounced by UConn in the first round, but he's just like a scorer, dude. He's just like a natural scorer. Knows when to pass. Just good instincts for an 18-year-old. Does make some does have some iffy shot decisions at times. Like he shoots some shots at times he probably shouldn't take, which could be bad at first in the NBA.
Bit of an experience. He's pretty young, right? Well, the youngest.
He's 18. He's definitely, if he's not the youngest, he's definitely or he's probably not the youngest, but he's definitely one of the younger players in the draft. Based on his size, he's not like the tallest guy. He'll definitely be a 1 in the NBA. I think it will be shaky for him at first. I think he has a lot of growth, but I think once he hits that growth, he'll be a very good player. So the Nets could be that perfect system for him where he can kind of just grow and develop. And because I don't think they're looking to win now.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the exact same pick as you. The Nets don't have a point guard currently. They have Cam Thomas, so I think Cam Thomas slides in pretty nicely with Jeremiah Fears. But Fears is just so clutch. Great shot creation, but he's still.
I actually don't know if they would gel together. That's like 2 score first. Cam Thomas, hard player to compliment, dude.
Well, I think having that backcourt is pretty handy.
I don't think Cam Thomas is a forever player for them, though. I think they'd be.
Well, either way, Jeremiah Fears would be the point guard of the future for them. Give them some direction.
I don't really know who else they would go with, to be honest.
Yeah, their guard depth is pretty weak. So, moving on, the Raptors are next at 9.
Raptors. Very, very weak at center. Siaka Podol and a bunch of guys you've never heard of.
No,
I think
not even a power forward.
I think you have to go big here. Go big or go home. I think you go Derek Queen, the Maryland big man. Fills a lot of boxes for them. Doesn't have much of an outside game, but he's a good post scorer. Shown flashes of extending his game to the 3-point line. He's like a 77% free throw shooter, which is always a good sign. And, I mean, watch him in March Madness. This guy makes big plays, clutch time player. I don't think it will take him long to transfer in the NBA. I think he'll be a good player pretty much right away. I don't know what his ceiling will be. I don't know if he has an all-star type ceiling, but I think it's definitely better than what they have going for them right now.
I have the same reasoning for my pick, but I have Kaman Malawach, which would be a total steal, but I don't think the Nets, Pelicans, or Wizards need a big, so I think he'd fall.
With their developmental staff, like what Toronto could do for some of those projects, or like guys that are still a work in progress, I feel like he would do so well there. That would be almost the dream fit for him. I just don't know if he falls there, because it's rare you get a 7. It's rare you get a 7-2 like 18, 19-year-old that's as polished as he is.
Definitely, but I do think just for the Pelicans having Zion, Yves, Missy, Wizards having Alex, a couple of those guys. So I think there's a chance he pulls, and if he does, it'll be a complete steal. But this whole draft is just about fit, and there's no real consensus. If you look at any mock draft, no two will be the same because it's impossible to predict. So
onto the Rockets at 10. I actually don't think they use this pick, so I'm basically just picking someone. I think it gets used in a trade, or it gets used to trade into the future. They're just already so deep and have so many young players. But really, I think if they were to pick here, Colin Murray Boyles would be the pick. South Carolina sophomore, had a big leap in production in his sophomore year, averaging 17 points and 8 rebounds. I think he could just be like a role guy there, kind of fit into the bench and keep things afloat, be a connecting piece. But I really don't think I'm so serious when I say I don't think this pick gets used.
I think they might use it, but I also have Colin Murray Boyles. I think he's just a defensive-minded power forward, which fits with what they're building. Good power forward depth and just someone to develop behind the scenes for. Not much to it because the Rockets are pretty loaded with above average young guys, so I think it just fit right in with that. Portland next.
Yeah, Blazers. I have Kasparas, Jakionis. I don't know how to. That's a tough one. It's a mouthful. 19-year-old Lithuanian from Illinois. Stands at 6'4", average 15 points, but his main skill, like we said previously, is passing, really good court vision. They already have some young guards with Scoot. Shadon Sharp, I guess he's more of he's like a 2-3. And then they have Clean at center. They have Denny, Kamara. So they have something going, but I kind of think a playmaking piece, if Kasparas was to fall here, would be really nice for them to add to their young team.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that because from what I've heard, they're really high on Scoot Henderson and being the franchise point guard, but it would be a big move in the right direction by going for that. I had him pretty early on at 6, but my pick for Portland would be Noah Esengui, which I don't think I said that right at all. But backup 4 adds depth to that young core. Comes in him and Tumani Kamura.
That would be a massive front. That'd be a massive front court with him and Klingen if you were to start.
Yeah, I'd have him coming off the bench, but developing behind the scenes, just being part of that young core they're bringing up. I don't know too much about him, but based off what the scouts are saying, I think he'd fit pretty well.
Funny enough, with the 12th pick, I have the Bulls selecting the same guy, Noah Esengui. Sort of a late riser. Apparently, his production kind of increased throughout the season. He started playing really well towards the end of the season out in France. 18 years old. I think Giddey could maybe bring out the best in him. Really good playmaker in Giddey. And, Bulls are picking at number 12. Bulls are kind of in a lock when it comes to their roster. Like, really weird situation. They just need someone with the super, super high ceiling and kind of hope they pan out, and that's what you're getting here if you pick him.
Mm-hmm. Just add up to that young core of Giddey. Yeah. I mean, that was my reasoning for my pick, and I had Derek Queen. I think he's a perfect big for this rebuild. He complements Giddey and Matas Buzelis, and it'll be a step in the right direction to move on from Patrick Williams.
That situation, they probably move Vooch for sure.
Mm-hmm. So if he falls,
I think
you had it.
Yeah, I'm super high on Derek Queen.
I'm high on him, but I think 12th is still pretty good for him.
I wanted Derek Queen to fall, end up being a Thunder player so bad throughout the season. Derek Queen's kind of my guy in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie. We on the 13 now?
Yep.
Hawks. They're keeping it local. I think they go with Asa Newell from Georgia, 6'10" freshman. One of the better shooters in the draft. He's probably ends up being a 4 in the NBA, but maybe go small and play 5 at times. Average 19 points, 6 rebounds. High ceiling there, also low floor. Kind of just taking a risk. They've already got a lot of lengthy players there, and it kind of just adds another lengthy guy to their team.
I am in conjunction with you. I'm taking Asa Newell as well. I think he's just that versatile defender, which builds what they're building with Dyson. I think it complements that quite well, and he'd be a good lob threat for Trey. I think he'd fit in pretty nicely with Onyeka Okongwu if they take that route by getting rid of Clint Capella. Because, I think he'd be the right pick for them.
That would be interesting, him and Okongwu in the front court.
Mm-hmm. Pretty identical players, but
Newell
space
crazy enough, the Spurs have Stephon Castle, Victor Wembanyama, but they also have 2 picks in the lottery. So they got they ended up getting the 14th pick too. I think they go Arizona wing Carter Bryant. He's a freshman. Averaged 12 points, wasn't super involved offensively, but he projects to be one of the better defensive wings in this draft. If you draft him, you're kind of just hoping you can get the prototypical 3-and-D player. He's going to have to kind of find his niche offensively in the NBA, but he's definitely going to be a defender right away, and that would add one more defender next to Castle. And if you know the Spurs, they like defense, so I think he would be a match in San Antonio.
Yep, I'm totally with you on this. I think if the Spurs want to be a dynasty, they need these good role players, and they're so good at that. We know from their previous dynasty. But these guys who know their role would get the job done, and I think Carter Bryant is perfect for that because you have so much talent on that team. We just need these dudes, to come in, get that done. So Carter Bryant with 14. Moving on to the most exciting part of this video, pick number 15. Here you go.
Bro, I feel like this is gonna shock you. He worked out with the Thunder. I have Cedric Coward from Washington State. He's just like that prototypical Thunder player. He just like has Sam Presti written all over him. He's actually been getting a lot of J-Dub comparisons. But on draft day, he'll be 21, almost 22, 6'5", 7'2" wingspan. One of the best scouts have described him as a next level defender. He's a 40% three-point shooter. He averaged 18.7 rebounds. All over the place on the boards. Apparently hustles pretty well. Basically a two-way player. I just think he fits our system. And if you've watched these playoffs, we need a wing or we don't necessarily need, but I would love a wing guy that can just shoot the lights out of the ball, but also play a lick of defense at the same time, not just be one-dimensional and only a three-point shooter. And I feel like he could bring the best of both worlds to OKC. And I do want to say he's all over the place on mock drafts. I've seen him kind of be a fringe top 10 guy. I've seen him in the 15 to 20 range, but I've also seen him late first round. So I have no clue where he's going. A ton of teams have worked him out, but I would be happy if he's a Thunder player. I like how he's kind of just a win now guy and he'd fit in right away.
I would totally too. He's one of my picks for the 24th pick, just because it's so up in the air on where he can be. I think just. But yeah, you mentioned that we need the wings. That's just so true. Coming into this draft, we need 3-and-D wings or backup power forward / bigs.
I know who you're going with.
So we can shift everyone down. Like J-Dub can play the 3, and then we can, when Hart eventually leaves, we can bring someone in. Do you want to predict who I'm going with?
It's either Nick. I think it's either Nick Clifford or Rasheer Fleming.
Do you want to take a guess on one of those two?
Nick Clifford?
No, Rasheer Fleming.
Yeah, that's close.
Every year, I find one guy.
I know you're high on him, but I'd like to know why.
Yeah, I'll tell you. But last year it was De'Aaron Holmes from Dayton.
I think you're flip-flopped. I think it's actually more likely we get Coward here and then Fleming with the other pick.
Either way, that would be great. But yeah, Fleming is. I'm so high on him. Just watching him hustle on the court, his motor is just so high. I love players like that. I connect with him more because I play a bit like him, but he's such a great role player. Stretch 4, fits in with OKC's defensive system, so he'll be a defense first guy. Slotted nicely. We have Jada, we have Shet, we have Shea. We don't need, stars or anything. He might take a season or two to develop, but I'll be fine with that. Development behind the scenes, bring him in. But yeah, I just think he'd be awesome on the Thunder.
Smaller school guy too, kind of a niche pick, which is similar to like AJ Mitchell, J-Dub.
But the man averaged 9.8 rebounds at 6'9". Like, if that doesn't tell you he's a dog, then I don't know what.
I feel like he's definitely at least worked out with the Thunder. I feel like that's a guy Presti would want to evaluate.
But if we can get him, yeah, Cedric Coward, I would love as well. But this just shows. I mean, you had Cedric at 15 and thinking about Rasheer Fleming at 24. I'm the other way around. So it just shows this draft can be anything at all. And Sam Presti is going to go with someone we don't even know. And then we're going to be shocked by it and enjoy it. That's my prediction. But I think
I want to hear y'all's predictions.
Awesome. Let us know
with the playoffs finals happening. I have not done as much draft evaluation as I should be doing. So I've missed out on a lot of time watching film on guys. So I'd like to know where I'm wrong at, where I'm right at, and also who you think the Thunder should take. Top of that, if you like this video, subscribe, drop a like, and be sure to go follow Bring the Thunder podcast on Instagram. Peace.
Thunder up.